And welcome back. This is episode 3 of Elden Ring round review. This time I'm going through a Guardian run. Trying to remember which boss it is for this one. But this is usually what we usually do here. Go over the good, the bad, and how everything went wrong or right for this particular round of Elden Ring Nightreign. Okay, so we got Recluse and a Wilder. Not a bad team up with me playing as Guardian. And I must admit, I love Guardian's special ability. I was on the fence with Guardian pre first patch, first or second patch. He felt kind of weak, little damage, slightly, very tanky, but little damage. But once you get the right build going with him, and I'll show my build at the end of the match with some of my relics. I cannot stress how good it is to have the relic to increase the duration of your ability. You can easily control lighter enemies. You can stagger a lot of enemies doing. You can stagger even some boss enemies doing this. Not to mention, it's very good for deflecting missile attacks. The amount of attacks you can actually deflect with it is kind of staggering. I've had rounds where I've staggered, not staggered, I deflected boss breath attacks. Just get some really beautiful moments out of that. Oh, that's actually pretty good item discovery. Where are we heading off to for this first round? Another chapel. Okay, no, these are very good stops. Get free levels. I think we're probably all level 3 right about now. Easily get us up to like level 4 at the very least, or give us good items. If I recall correctly, I believe this one's gonna give me a good halberd to use. Yep. Sacred halberd. Charge incantations. Not the best effect for me. More, well, if I recall, I believe the Guardian actually do have some good faith scaling. But you got so little magic. Yeah, we start off in a nice, good little location. Some 2 chapels to clear out, a church to get, or I should say, 2 churches to clear out and a chapel to get another flask, and a camp now. Beastman camp. Yeah, I gotta say, Guardians may become one of my favorite character classes at this point, just because of how very versatile he can be and very tanky. The tankiness make him very friendly for new players, just because you got the longest health bar. The only thing that the only downside is his one of his special ability, which is the shield ability, only activate when you do a dodge while guarding. And problem with this, it encourages you to dodge towards your enemy, so that way they hit your shield. But I ran into multiple problems, and I think you'll see one in this run, where larger opponents will hit over the shield and hit you on top of your head, and get past your shield. Okay, but we'll get this soon enough. Who is the tagging lightning, which implies that the haven't been paying attention to who the boss is, and ironically enough, that's how I play half of my my games. I just go straight in. Oh, it's the dream, the one who's weak to lightning, the giant jellyfish, as I call him. Okay. I used to actually hate that this boss we're going up against, mainly because with him and sentient pests, I remember just not liking having to chase them around or having to keep a dedicated range player to deal with the attacks from them, or to, I should say, to keep up the attacks on them. But okay, I got my weapon of for fighting that boss. Lightning anchor. I gotta say, we had a very lucky type of sea for us. Posed by two large churches. Next, in close proximity to two chapels to get flasks from. A very easy roaming boss. A very simple Beastman camp, and then finally a Beastman of Pharaoh Azure Ruin to get our lightning-based weapon to fight the boss with. So, I mean, at this point, the only thing we're missing are just some more levels by the end of day one. Ah, yes, perfect. And I gotta say, I love the these locations my allies are choosing, because this is the best place to go to next, is to go to a mine shaft. And I think too many players sleep on mine shafts and don't like to go there, despite the fact the boss is guaranteed to give you a level 2 smithing stone, which can take most of the uncommon weapons up to the next level, which can make a huge difference for a boss fight. You know, now granted, if there's like a crater event where you're going to upgrade one of your items to legendary, yeah, then I can understand that it's not worth it unless you got a secondary item you want to get up to the next highest, the second highest tier. And then one of the other thing I find a lot of players don't do, check the room next to the troll if it's a troll you fight in the mineshaft, because it usually have at least one smithing stone somewhere in there. We got unlucky with that run, but most of the time it will have at least one smithing stone that you can grab. Level 1. Is it great? No. Can you buy it at the end? Yeah, but you don't have to waste runes on it to buy it now. That's it. Making good progress. I imagine we're gonna take. Oh, another roaming boss. Probably the golden hippopotamus we're about to take out. What you getting? 3 level 6 players. The only wild card is, yeah, and never mind. I was about to say the bats, but golden hippos saw to that. A nice affinity cast from the recluse with the ice. And there's the real weakness to the Guardian command grabs. And I remember the reason I picked up the shield, I didn't like, while I normally do like barricade shield, I normally like having no skills on my shield for Guardian. So I think I went back, picked it up saying, I may need a no shield. Oh, the Frenzy Flame Troll. Easy boss to take out at low levels because he staggered almost instantly. The only thing to watch out for, his attacks can hit his feet when he's using his Frenzy Flames. So just be wary. If you think you're directly under him, you're safe. You couldn't get popped that way. Oh, do I go stamina? Yep. So most of the time, my Guardians, what I usually try to go for effects are more stamina or higher stamina regen, more HP, or enhanced guards or guard counters, maybe. Oh, and definitely more poise, or you can break your enemy poise easily. We got the light closing in on us. Where are we trying to go? I imagine we're trying to get one more. Oh, probably just trying to level up before we get back to the level 8. This ideally is where I like to be. Okay, we're trying to make it to a camp. We're probably not going to make it there in time. Strange that I would choose to keep trying to commit to the camp after. Okay, yeah. Okay. I saw that I'm not going to make it there in time. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, why am I choosing this? I'm not going to make it there in time. That's the other thing. I see a lot of new players, a lot, quote, pro players do. They try to fight, complete clearing a area while the rain's closing in on them. And it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm only taking a little damage. And I'm like, yeah, but depending on how far away you are from the boss area, depending on how many site of grace there are between you and getting to the boss area, depending on what night it is. Because yes, if it's like, you know, the end of day 2 and you're trying to get your last couple levels in, I can understand fighting a little bit in the rain to try to get your levels up. But I've seen players end of day 1 trying to clear a camp on the edge of the rain, on the very edge where the rain is coming, and then once the rain completely engulfed the camp, they're still trying to solo the boss by themselves. And it's like, okay, let's work this through. Even if you clear the camp or clear the boss, you may die while you're trying to choose whatever item you want. Unless your team is there with you, they're not going to get the items. So now you're both in a situation where you're gonna have to go back to the camp anyway so they can get the perk or drop of the boss. You're gonna be running into the next boss fight with either no flash or low HP. And then there's the possibility that you may be so far away that while trying to make it to the boss area, what a lot of players don't realize is the rain doesn't do constant damage. If you stay in it long enough, it starts doing double the damage. And then I think even triple the damage until you die. I've had times where me and another player was trying to run back into the boss area after staying out in the rain, and we were all like taking, I think, double to triple damage from the rain, to the point that as soon as we would get up, we would be right back down before we could even drink a flask. But I digress way too much. We are at Gaping Dragon. Dark Souls 1 boss fight. For those who remember Blighttown, they'll definitely remember the Gaping Dragon. Um, he was more of a trouble in Blighttown. Mainly because he was on a there was an edge, if I recall correctly, there was an edge of the arena you could fall off on. And two, he loved to do the attack where that slime attack would break your weapons. But since that's not a problem here, the only attack you gotta watch out for is when he charges towards you and when he does that spin around and hit you with his tail. Pro tip, if you do enough damage to his tail, you can break his tail off, which completely negate the tail attack he can do when he turns around. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Also, you get items when you break his tail off. And there we go. Tail is off. At this point, once the tail come off, the fight is almost like pitiful because he lost his his main attack, which is the hit using the tail attack when you're behind him. At this point, his only real attacks are in front of him. So if you just stay behind him, he can't really do much to you. Oh, let's see what we have. Critical hit. Yeah, that's probably the best I could get because there's no reason for me to do FP because I don't have any real use for it. That's good just for the status effects. I would get rid of the first one. Yeah, okay. Funny enough, I don't think I used it the whole round though. Like, yeah, and this is what I recommend. Go to the camp if you're trying to decide, hey, should we try clear out this camp, ruin, castle, wherever, and the rain's coming in. Do what you can. Once you see the rain coming in, just completely bug out, leave it, abandon it, and then just come back to it if it's the first day. And, you know, come back to it on the second day. You can plan out how you're gonna, you know, what you can do on your way there, so you can make it productive. Like, I think we're gonna take out this dragon on the way there. And Flying Hail Dragon is a fairly easy dragon to take out on your second day. I wouldn't advise for your first day. And this is what I'm talking about, dodging towards the enemy. Because he landed behind me, easily knocked me off my feet. Now here I was trying to see. I recall with this dragon, I believe I tried multiple times to see if I could use Guardian's ability to deflect the flames of his breath attack. Although that time I was just seeing if I could, how much of that I could block. Here we go. And the answer to that is no. It do not deflect fire. Not only did it not deflect the fire, I think it funneled the fire towards me. So, word to the wise, you can't deflect flame breath attacks. Or if you can't, or if I did something wrong, let me know in the comments because I would love to know if you can deflect flame breath attacks with the Guardian's win ability. I know for a fact you can deflect. I believe. Well, I say this for a fact. I believe 90% you can deflect the frost breath attacks. Only because I recall for the boss fight against the Nightlow Ice Dragon, I used Guardian's win ability as a breath attack was coming directly towards me and took no damage. Now, it's possible maybe I was just on the edge of it and I didn't realize it, but I'm very doubtful because my teammate who was just across from me took a hit from it. But maybe I was wrong. That is something I would love to. I wish they had a way to just test this out. Here come the bear. I call shenanigans on that. I was far enough away. It just kind of teleported me into that attack. Increased stamina, always a good thing for the Guardian. Bad guard counter there. Maximum HP would be the best. The reason I didn't go for either of those two weapons, of all the stats effect, sleep is the one I don't like to grab, especially on day 2. Because most of the weapons I'm grabbing on day 2 are weapons I'm going to be using for the night load. Ice status will work on the night load. Bleed status will work on the night load. Poison and Scarlet Rot status will work on the night load. I've never seen the night load get put to sleep. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I imagine their status for it is extremely high. And I also imagine that the most it do is just slightly stagger them, because that's the thing with sleep. One is good for staggering them, but that's about it for most enemies. It just stagger them. It doesn't, at least with Poison, Scarlet Rot, that's doing continuous damage. Bleed and Ice do a set amount of damage to them. With Ice, I think making them more vulnerable to attacks. But I think all Sleep does is just, put them in a position where they can get staggered. And the same with clearing out a Night Invasion with the Raider. He got me down with a good strike. I think I didn't know where he was at the moment. But yeah, a couple of pokes from the halberd was enough to put him down. Again, I do not like these Night Invasions because I don't like the drops. Maybe someone can tell me if they've ever gotten a good drop from these Night Invasion. I've never seen a valid reason to waste time going at them. I mean, in this case, it was probably fine because we more than likely, we're at level 10s. We could use the free levels. And, this didn't really take that long and really wasn't that tough to do. But I've never seen the value of doing Night Invasions. Because, one, the AI is, the Nightfarer that you have to fight is usually tougher than a standard enemy. While they are much weaker than a boss enemy, they're usually surrounded by a bunch of other mobs, which make them not, I wouldn't say challenging, I would say irritating to deal with them, because, can you deal with a enemy while the Guardian Iron Eye? Of course. can you deal with it when there's about 5 to 6 other enemies coming at you? Yeah, then things start getting a little bit tricky. Yeah, I think we would did better wasting our time just going straight towards the mountain and clearing out the mountain at this point. Level 10 is a good level to be at if you're going to clear out um, the shifting earth event. And I would say the best time to clear out this shifting earth is on the second day. And I would say if you're doing this optimally, the best time would be clear out only what you need from the castle. And by the time the second rain, the rain is closing in, the first time on day 2, make your way over to the mountain to wherever shifting event you're doing. That'll give you, because by the time the second ring has fallen, if you're already at the shifting earth during the shifting earth, you'll have more than enough time to clear it. So, ideal order of the events: castle before the rains close in the first time, shifting earth after the rain close in and form the first ring. So that way, by the time night is happening and the rain is closing in for the second time, you already got the secret at the end of the shifting earth and you're making your way towards the boss. And also, pro tip, the boss area for the second night, when you're doing a shifting earth event, the boss area will always be close to the shifting earth event, because the game almost expect you to be going that direction. I don't know why we went to this Crucible Knight. He's not gonna have any drops. The only Crucible Knights that have drops are the one with the spear. They're good for, getting runes from, but other than that, it's not really worth it in my opinion. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so I am saying let's try to do as much as the shifting earth as we can. Honestly, in some ways, I think the castle is kind of overrated. Because a lot of YouTube videos make it sound like you're always guaranteed legendary drops when clearing the castle. I've done enough runs where I've cleared the entire castle with a team and we didn't get one legendary drop the whole time. We didn't get one at the bottom, at the basement. We didn't get one at the top. Honestly, oh, and at this point, yeah, it's too late to do any type of shifting. It's already closing in on us. We can at least maybe take out the frost troll at the base of the mountain to get more XP. Maybe even, maybe if we had pulled all our resources, we could probably also got the dragon and the frost troll that are fighting each other bosses. But that would have been very tight. But we definitely can clear this guy out and get some free runes. Get a free level probably from this. Again, I love the Guardian's win ability. Very good for crowd control. And improve attack affinity. It's gonna boost my lightning. We're going for the dragon and the frost troll. it's a little bit too late. Yeah, it's too late. Would be better going off for the twin frost troll boss next to the boss spawn here on the other side. I forgot I got the ability after a successful guard counterattack. You do a holy explosion that can knock enemies off their feet. And then recluse with the stance break. Ah, full grown falling star beast. I never really liked Star Beast as a boss, even on Elden Ring. Primarily because, if memory serves, they're not weak against stab, or they're very resistant against stab and pierce. So, you know, pretty much any blade, and I think spear weaponry doesn't do much to them. I think the only attacks that they're like crystalline, the crystalline guardians. The only thing they're weak against is something that does smash. You know, so fists, a mace, a club. Which, luckily enough, I got a giant anchor, so right tool for the right job. Man, that did some good damage to it. Good block. Now, I remember when this happened, I was very curious, did my block cause it to stagger? Because normally when it's doing that charge attack, that rock to our right side, you let them run into that, and it will stance break them so you can do a critical attack. He hit me head on with my shield, and it looked like that broke his stance. Oh, good lightning with the recluse. Block. Nice, good block from me. Well, we get to find out again. Oh, never mind. I couldn't get the block up in the middle of an attack animation. Probably gonna do stance breaking. Oh, maybe ultimate. Ultimate, okay. 6%. That can make a huge difference if team is down, but I'm just a little bit away from healing myself. And I think at this point, okay. I was gonna see if the team was going to want to run outside the rain and pull them into the safe zone to fight, but it seemed like we're going to challenge them at, I believe, 13, 14. Please tell me I upped the anchor. Okay. Thank goodness. Always just usually upgrade the weapon that got their fantasy that the boss is weak against. If you're in doubt, just do that. I had a lot of points. Usually don't have enough points to buy myself one of those flask. One thing I do wish you could sell your items. Because I've seen too many times players are dropping a bunch of stone keys at the end. And I'm like, I wish you could sell those, even if it was like just 200 runes or something. It feels like such a waste to have to dump those items after grabbing them on the way here. But this Night Lord, he seemed a little bit daunting if you're a melee player because he's flying around. It feel like you're meant to fight him with a ranged character. No, there are ways. He's he's actually easier to hit. What's his name again? I always forget it. Maris, Fathom of the Night. So when he summoned these jellyfish, kill them because they release little energy beams that will automatically lock onto the boss and hit the boss to do additional damage. Good block there. And this is why I like the Guardian's win ability, crowd control, and being able to usually if you got the extended duration on this ability, you can use one charge ability, cast the wind, and kill a good chunk of those jellyfish to do damage to the boss. Now, when the boss is doing this to put everyone to sleep, don't let off. Attack it, attack it, attack it, attack it, and don't stop. If you stance break it, that's the only way to negate this attack. People think, oh, you can get out of range of this attack or something. No. When the boss is curling up and going and causing everyone to break out into sleep, attack the boss with everything you got. If you got ultimate, hit it with the ultimate. Anything to break its stance. That's the only way to stop that attack. Phase 2, not really much tougher. The only thing I think it's different is he dropped these giant jellyfish, which has a big AoE if they actually do hit the ground. But if you destroy them before they hit the ground and blow up, you do a lot more damage to the boss. The jellyfish will release an energy particle that will do more damage than normal jellyfish. And one thing to note, you can always block the water attacks that Maris sends your way, assuming you're using the special ability block. I think for a normal block with Guardian or even other player, it does a lot of stamina. You can block it, it just does a lot of stamina. And there's that giant jellyfish bomb. This area caught me off balance because I was trying to see if my teammate was going to be able to take it in time or if they were going to get knocked out by trying to take it out. Good block. Again, another good block. Last hit for the win. Yep, that was an easy match. Level 13. Good little run. And of course, those are the relics I'm using. Um, one of the first one, the Witch's Brooch, is what you get when you done all of Guardian's Remembrance. That slowly restore nearby ally HP while my ult is active, and reflect a portion of damage received when ability is active. So when I'm going into my shield, my god mode, heavy god mode, is reflecting damage back at them. Vigor +3. That's alright. Um, the big one, the Guardian increased duration for curses skill. That's what I was using to make the my wind attack last much longer. Again, very useful. Restoration on great spear attacks. If I had it, I had one, but I never used it. Endurance 2, that's pretty good. And the last one, I believe I got that one specifically when you beat that Night Lord um, special event. If I recall correctly, I believe that's the special event relic you get for clearing that night lord. The harder version of that night lord, it increases your stamina. Your guard counter is given a boost based on your current HP. I don't know how much that is. I would love to see. I need to look at the breakdown for that. And HP restoration upon thrusting counterattack. So another way to heal up. All in all, very good, solid build that I like to keep for my Guardian, and a good little run. So that's one W after two losses for the last two episodes. Here's hoping the next run is also that successful. But till then, see you then.